and Steve Rolls. But unfortunately, a second clash with Alvarez dealt him yet again another unfair.
Down goes Lemieux, and Golovkin hit him once while he was down.
Undefeated middleweight world champion, Gennady Golovkin.
Big drama show, let's go, let's do it.
Deploying fear in reigning the middleweight division for some time has seen Gennady Golovkin become one of the most avoided fighters on the planet.
Just swerved Golovkin like the plague, punches like a mule, then he's been with him.
Owning the highest middleweight knockout to win percentage in middleweight history has put Gennady on somewhat of a godlike pedestal.
It's 2 rounds in, but you felt like you've done 6 rounds, and he looks like he's only in first gear.
With a chin of iron and hands of steel, it's come to the opinion of most that Golovkin appears to be more machine over man.
6 years ago, I realized that Golovkin was going to be something special, not only in the near future, but in the future. I caught him on the mitts, and I felt his punches all the way down to my toes.
So brace yourself, fight fans, as we take a look back at some of the most soul-crushing victories of Gennady Golovkin's career. Stepping back into the early days of the Kazakh, a fruitful record of 350 amateur wins, 40 professional wins, and just 6 losses shows that Gennady isn't and never has been an ordinary fighter. Although Golovkin has been on fire since his debut, giving us so many bouts to choose from, we'll start with a hop back to almost 5 years ago, where Golovkin faced a mandatory challenger in Martin Murray.
It works out right, and the game plan works, and I can shake his power off and ride his power for the first 6 rounds. I've got the fight won.
A courageous Brit who on his 3rd attempt to win a world title was looking to upset the apple cart in a 3rd time successful.
But all the way in this first round, he's had Murray on the back foot.
Though Murray started off well, it seemed that the Kazakh's pressure was apparent from round 1, establishing a dominant demeanor early on in the fight.
Just the relentless pressure of Golovkin, and again Murray says, come on, is that all you've got? But at the moment, Murray, and Golovkin gets through with a right, and then an uppercut, and Murray is shaken here!
By the 3rd round, things were heating up, and just 1 round after, seeing Murray feel the true power of the Kazakh. Showing true fighting spirit, Murray showed heart throughout the next painful rounds. But after a 2nd knockdown,
And finally Murray is there!
it wasn't long till the Kazakh put an end to the blood-fueled battle.
Punches are starting to find a way through, and he's called it off! The referee calls a halt in the 11th.
He just swung this big right, which he didn't see, and the pain, I felt like I was having a baby.
After a punishing performance against Willie Monroe Jr., the hunt that led Golovkin to take out the very best continued. Next up, a bout seeing Gennady take on the heavy-handed challenger, David Lemieux, an opponent that was known for explosive stoppages, somewhat similar to those of Golovkin himself.
I want to be the best, so I'll have to fight the best. Gennady Golovkin, I'm not scared of him.
But just like previous opponents, one taste of the Kazakh's power was enough to ruin one's appetite for victory.
Right hand lands again, knocks Lemieux into the rope. Left hook for Golovkin, right hand lands again. Phenomenal accuracy.
Round after round saw Lemieux struggle to get past the piston-like jab of Gennady. A one-sided performance had Golovkin break his man down.
And talk about getting in. There was the left hook, and Lemieux is hurt. And here goes Golovkin, looking to finish already.
When the 5th round proved all too painful for Lemieux.
Down goes Lemieux, and Golovkin hit him once while he was down.
But to follow just 3 rounds later, a stoppage seen the Kazakh to victory after another display of painful dominance prevailed.
And Steve Willis is going to stop the fight.
I feel the fight was stopped a bit too early. No, I'll show in the near future. But he's a good champion. I have a lot of respect for him. Good job tonight. I hope the fans
A year later, negotiations for a fight with Britain's Eubank Jr. were underway.
Gennady Golovkin, man, I'm coming for you.
But like many of Gennadi's other potential opponents, when it came to signing the contract, a simple misplacement of the pen caused a breakdown of negotiations. But stepping up to the mark at the time was another one of Eddie Hearn's very best, Kell Brook.
I've always felt, and I've said it in interviews before, I feel like Kell Brook is unbeatable. But I didn't say that thinking he'd fight Gennady Golovkin.
Another undefeated British fighter who took a huge step up from welterweight to fight the bigger and more powerful Golovkin. As the first bell sounded, the Brit knew he was in for a tough time.
And Brook reaches out and grabs Gennady Golovkin and gathers him to him after Golovkin hammered him to deliver with a body shot.
With Golovkin in demolition mode hurting Brook early, only one thing ran through the minds of those who watched.
Right now he's being overwhelmed and overpowered.
But things picked up for the Brit as Brook caught Golovkin flush, drawing blood.
Uppercut by Brook, left hook, brought the crowd alive. Golovkin nodding at him as if to say, okay, I tasted what you got.
And showing he wasn't done just yet. But the sturdy chin of Golovkin once again absorbed the punishment, thus leading him to take things up another gear.
I'm pretty sure his trainer told him to go out there now and start putting pressure and start changing the tone of this fight.
After a few more punishing rounds and a broken eye socket later, the towel was thrown in, saving the Brit from a further 7 rounds of punishment.
Finally throws the towel into the ring, and Gennady Golovkin is going to have a technical knockout.
They're starting to settle into it, but when you see 3 or 4 of them, you know, it's hard to carry on.
At this point, it was safe to say Golovkin had cemented himself into the category of the elite, but many would agree was still yet to really be tested, which led to only one outcome.
But like I said, I don't fear this man, and my heart will definitely show come Saturday night.
Another 8 months down the line, one of the middleweight's top contenders surfaced, bringing a whole new challenge to the table. Danny Jacobs, also known as the Miracle Man.
Like Danny Jacobs in the story, what he came back from, you know, it's amazing, but, you know, it's a fight. You don't win fights, you know, and Triple G, I feel, is the better fighter, better puncher.
This is a competitive fight.
Entering the ring a bigger man, Jacob shown a level of resistance toward the pressure of the Kazakh. However, the 4th round seen a flash knockdown that gave Golovkin an edge on the scorecards. Switching stances throughout and imposing his will, Danny gave Golovkin a fight that critics would say could have easily gone the other way.
Still undefeated and still middleweight champion of the world.
But this is boxing. Obviously, he's a bigger draw than me, and they want to make that super matchup with him and Canelo. So Daniel Jacobs probably got X'd out. But all I can do is be gracious in defeat and be gracious in my victory. And, you know, God bless him.
Next up, one of the most anticipated fights of this era, and one that was said to be long overdue.
Canelo's really good. To beat Floyd or Triple G, you have to be great.
A middleweight clash of the ages against Saul Canelo Alvarez.
And you know me, I don't like to talk a lot. I just want to say that I'm prepared. But I mean, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be a tough fight.
Though this was said to be a 50-50 fight, most still had Golovkin a favorite, being bigger and more proven at the weight.
Miller just had to be careful not to run into one of those big shots too early.
A quick start from the Mexican earned him a level of respect. But it wasn't long until the overwhelming pressure of Golovkin and a dominant jab gave him the upper hand.
The hook upstairs is starting to be a useful weapon for Triple G.
A heavy work rate forced the Mexican onto the ropes and into unfamiliar territory. After rounds of back and forth brutality, the fight had come to an end, but not to one of which most were expecting.
A 3-way split. This is officially a draw.
Canelo, would you fight any differently in a rematch? He seems to want you to stand still.
We'll see. We'll fight in the second one, but I'll win again anyways.
Over the following 24 months, Golovkin made quick work of his tune-up bouts against Vanes Martirosyan and Steve Rolls. But unfortunately, a second clash with Alvarez dealt him yet again another unfavorable hand by the judges. Leading to his most recent bout, a 2019 matchup in New York's Garden against the Ukrainian Sergey Derevianchenko.
I think it'll be a firefight. I think both guys, Gennady Golovkin, we know sometimes gets hit a little bit too much, but he likes to stand and trade, and if you do that with Gennady, you're in trouble. But I think Derevianchenko is up for that.
Although on paper the Ukrainian wasn't the favorite, a previous fight with Danny Jacobs had proven he was more than capable to fight at the highest level.
Won't win, but that's it. I won't belt, I won't win, and fast or not fast, I won't win.
It looked like he had weathered that combination, but clearly he had not.
Though Golovkin landing successfully throughout the early rounds, the Ukrainian stood his ground and matched him evenly in the offense department. Creeping back into the fight, seeing Derevianchenko taking a lot of the rounds, and to most, a somewhat surprising turn in events.
Derevianchenko is hurting Gennady Golovkin.
The last quarter of the fight had Golovkin step on the gas a little more, seeing the show to an end.
And that's the fight. That was the war.
Middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Golovkin.
A result that favored Golovkin in nothing less than a lucky roll of the dice.
He was hoping that the win would go to him because he felt